fairly fairly easy, fairly smooth first game to this series. Of course, they want to repeat that result. They also know that Tidebound's gonna react and do something different in this game number 2. But is there something, Effie, that we want to see that they'll just be able to do again from this game, even in with maybe a different draft? Any kind of concepts you want to see a repeat of?
From Falcons, I think the idea of 2 supports that can just wave clear, hide on lanes, create their farm, and force people to chase them around the map, do that again. Looks so good. Whether it's a Pugna, whether it's an Enchantress, whether it's a Snap or a Hoodwink, these heroes are very disruptive towards Tidebound because when they were responding to these support Snap pressure, they were bringing everybody. Like they had to bring 3 heroes, bring a +1 behind because, oh no, we don't have enough damage to kill Pugna, and they just lose their advantage on the map. They lose their area control.
Falcons have a very a script in a way where they stick to what they want from their players, and their players and their heroes that they have, they're interchangeable. So if you ban one, you get the other. So I think for them, it's probably more about they should be ready for how Tidebound will adapt in the next game with maybe a different pick, a different ban, and just play as it did in game 1.
But that's why I think when we've praised Snaking, giving him the MVP for the Pugna, he can still play chant other heroes. Why not look at Crit more? Why not look at the Snapfire, the Hoodwink? These are the active heroes that make everything feel so kind of oppressive in the game. If they're both gone, he's now playing like a Bat Rider or a Nyx or a Ringmaster. Like they don't have as much of that kind of punchy value. So I'd say double ban those 2 heroes. We can see a completely different style from Falcons.
I like that. Or take the Snap for yourselves. So one of your supports has that wave shove because when they do give Snap away to Falcons, it opens up for so much combo potential. Again, the kisses on the Roar, the kisses on the Arena, they came in clutch so many times last game.
Yeah, a lot of questions we have about what's going to happen in the upcoming draft, and those questions will be answered in just a moment.
Team Tidebound versus Team Falcons. Game 2.
Game 2 means that if Falcons take this game number 2, they secure themselves top 6 at this international. Of course, Tidebound would like a repeat of what happened in the road to TI, where they were able to bring it back in game number 2 and 3. Let's see how they're going to attempt to do that. We have this time around Tidebound on the Radiant side, Falcons on the Dire side, and it's Falcons this time around with first pick. So the complete swap around compared to previous game. But there is one thing that didn't change, is that the Ancient Declaration still gets first phase banned, even though right now Falcons only has those 3 bans. So that's a little bit surprising to me, but that also means we got extra juice left in the pool.
I think they've identified something important, which was this hero has kind of been a crux to Tidebound in how they draft. It's always picked really early on. It's always their follow-up damage, and we haven't really seen Planet on very much else. We saw him just now on the Muerta, and it didn't look as good. He looked a lot less comfortable on that map.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe where they should or have to look more at the heroes that you guys are mentioning too, with the Snap, with the Hoodwink, maybe something else that just makes it a little more easy. Because yeah, the Muerta, it did not sell me in game 1. At least one thing that is here now for Falcons, if they do want to first pick it, which they've done a few times before, Sanking could be left open. Because, last game around, it was banned. Tidebound went for the first pick Shaker. And they do ban out the NTS Tinker one more time. Can't blame them for doing that.
Yeah, and then Naga makes it through also with that ban that we've had on the Beastmaster and the Shaker. We'll see if Tidebound wants to go for the Sand King themselves.
I don't think I want to see that from Tidebound. We're going to see NTS hitting that triangle early on, trying to farm a certain item timing and just not being available to his team. This Naga Siren creates a lot of issues because last game we talked about the wave shove coming out of Falcons and how Tidebound couldn't respond to it that well. That is what this hero does best to you.
Yeah, no, Naga Siren, how do you word it in a nice way? I forgot I'm at TI for a second.
You're going to hate the hero.
I hate the hero. I mean, I'm a support player, but come on, man. It's like you press one button, I jump a guy, and then he sings from the tree line. Congratulations, man. You've got Shard, they're healing, whatever. It really simplifies Dota so much that you have wave shove, you have fight reset, and also it plays into Falcons' logic of the game, which is we want to scale, and it is the perfect Falcons hero. It's why it's banned out so much.
I mean, they've been using this since Singapore TI, where even Carry Naga was super good back then, where Skeeter played it every time, or Snaking and they go with the flex. I like Tidebound's response. Centaur has really risen up in popularity a lot. Generally, when you see Naga, you want heroes that can stay there, you can clear illusions, have high HP region, maybe by a Vanguard. And I've seen the Aghanim Scepter, the card, it's been getting picked up a lot.
Yeah. It's a really cool thing, especially if you have a carry like Shiro, who's going to range carry and just be all of your net worth. If you can cart him late game, get him into the midst of the fight, keep him safe, that's one step better when than what they had last game. Last game, not a single save existed for the carry. Here, you solve it through your offlaner.
And with the laning matchup, right, the Centaur, the Naga Siren, Centaur will just be able to play the lane like Kezzy's already mentioned. And I think knowing that your offlaner is going to have all this farm and doesn't need to rotate is a really good indicator to kind of a successful Taiban lineup for sure.
I want to see Shiro play Morph if they can build a draft for it, because maybe take advantage of this AA ban from the enemy team. Make it so that it helps your draft in a way that one of his counters are out of the pool. We've seen how good he looked when they played the Morph plus Centaur combo, as you showed us, Kazu.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, I think, incredibly good for them. And like I like it a lot when you do make use of bans. There's also, there's no beast. You already banned it out. That would be good for the Morph too. Of course, we'll have to see it later because picking it like in a vulnerable position can be very hard. I think one thing that I find like really funny to see in this draft. So Falcons last time around, they were the ones that picked out of the second phase and they took the snap. Now it's reversed. You have Taiban that they pick out of phase, and you have Falcons that are like, Snapfire and Pugna are so good, we're not going to let you have them. So it just shows you like the value of how highly they actually think of these heroes.
Yeah, speaking of high-value heroes, though, Nature's Prophet definitely has been one and can also be flexed. And we can, of course, see it as support, but we can also see it in the hands of Shiro as a range carry.
I'd like to see it as carry at the moment. Of course, the draft might change that, but just the general playstyle. Centaur doesn't care about Naga Siren. He's just going to play that lane. Nature's Prophet, good farm. You rotate in. You're now pressuring Skitter. You're like progressing the map. You're making Falcons react, and making them react in the early game, it really hurts them quite a lot.
And this is the big trade-off that happens when you do expend a double support ban on Falcons. One of the most popular heroes of the tournament gets given away. We'll see what Shiro can do with it. I mean, when you talk about what Nature's Prophet does versus a hero like Naga Siren, he can just press ulti and negate a lot of the wave shove she provides.
Yeah.
So it's already a step up.
I mean, Falcons for now, what they do a lot also with Sanking, I feel like they always make sure when he goes in, they give him the follow-up damage that he kills, but they also always have a hero that then allows him to get out again. So the Hoodwink allows you to kill. Naga Song is going to allow you to disengage. So I already like this a lot, and they stack so much. I will talk about it multiple hundred times while we're in this tournament. But Naga Siren, great stacker, Sanking will clear it. So I like what both teams are presenting so far.
Then surely we should see Tidebound focus a little bit on having a lineup that can contest those stacks.
Surely.
Contest stacks or just be efficient on the map. So when you know they're farming the stacks, you're shoving that additional wave, you're hitting that extra tower, you're making another move to make Falcons kind of trade going for them. And already with Taibound's lineup, they're kind of offering Falcons like, please, we know you're going to jump us, but we have the Puck to coil you, the Centaur with the Aghanim's down the line to save. They just profit. You can ignore every fight. You don't have to rotate on the map if you don't want to. You can just farm so much economy that you have BKB, Satanic, and all the big items when it matters.
And they covered the Puck pick by picking Disruptor, which is one of Puck's counters. Another one is the Silencer or even the Lion or Shaman that are still within the pool. But you do want to pick up that instant disable for yourself if you're up against a Puck this early.
When Sanking jumps in, Static Storm, thank you very much, kill him. It's very nice. Centaur has to be the damage soak for Taiban. Like, positioning is key because, of course, how explosive Falcons are. If your Prophet's out of position, if anyone's out of position, they will just get 100-0.
So what do you want here if you're a Falcons? You probably pick Skeeter's hero. I think generally when I see Centaur, you kind of want a hero that eventually will, deal enough damage to kill through him because he may buy some auras. You want like high physical damage. Generally speaking, you have heroes like Sven that are quite high up on the radar against this. Maybe because you have Naga Siren, you don't want it. Would he look more for a range hero, some gyro again?
You could just go maximum map play and go Terrorblade. Then you have Terrorblade Illusions pushing, Naga Illusions pushing, Sanking, Hoodwink utilizing all of that to then find the pickoffs. When you eventually break them, then you can kind of progress the game state. It's quite a toxic way to play, but it's the old school Tundra way. At least that's how they won that TI.
Because on this slot, they have to decide what is the most valuable pick. Because you have one pick into the ban, so you have to decide later. They go with this should be an Amar Bristleback.
Yep.
I don't really see Skeeter play it. I think Amar's just so good on his heroes. There's no real reason to flex them.
Is there enough damage right now with Taibound's heroes where we were... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do they actually have any damage? Scaling, lovely. Love the scaling. Damage, not really.
I think there are actually going to be big damage issues here because Furion's going to take a while before he really packs a punch. Like, it takes him like 4 to 5 items to get through a lot of damage reduction. His biggest strength is his ability to instantly follow up on any kind of setups on the map or join and correct lanes and farm very quickly. But Bristleback, also keeps tempo will be incredibly tanky. And if a pipe comes out, who's really doing your damage early game for Typhon?
Is that a reason to put that Nature's Prophet in the hands of Planet instead?
I would be leaning that direction because if not, then we're looking at a 4 position to fix the damage problems.
And that's really hard.
Yeah.
That is, especially with like Snap and other.
If Ancient Apparition was available, perfect hero,
Lovely.
but not available.
There's always the prospect of carry Doom, but again, that just does not fit Tidebound's playstyle and how they've been playing with Shiro.
I would be looking. I mean, it's like what I see for Tybound, and of course they will see the ultimate lineup, so they can look for the damage issues, try to fix it, but also get the carry matchup. But I also am a fan of the Nature's Prophet being a support. You do pick a new carry, so anything that gives you static, high physical damage that is going to lane okay is what you should be looking at.
If we're looking at carry, it could be like a Medusa just to try and outscale, hold the high ground. And if you want a support for Planet, I'm thinking Phoenix. Have some Sunray, you then have all this control in front of you. You then utilize that, the Shard Sunray as well with your egg. But you have the first 20 minutes with a Phoenix support, it could be kind of scary. You overcome that, sure, the draft's going to really be able to play itself out.
And we're still like, regardless of what position is going to be picked for Tidebound, we still want, if it's Shiro's hero that gets picked or he gets an Nature's Prophet, we want the ranged carry.
Not necessarily, more so just a hyper carry, not something like a Mercy.
I mean, I was thinking that maybe they would want Ursa. They banned it, so they're not going to get their hands on this. I think for Falcons, generally they play with 2 initiators nearly no matter what. And this time you have Amar, who's not the initiator, so I kind of feel
He does
like
initiate. He runs in.
True, he
really
runs in
aggressively.
his big ass body. He's going to get in there. So I would be leaning for Falcons, for like the classic speeder hero. Your DK is banned out. There's still your Sven. Is there anything else that's like strength? Maybe, it might jump in for his team.
But does that hero need to be more of an objective taker? Or
Not necessarily. I feel like BB is quite good.
It could be Faceless Void.
True.
And it looks like a pretty comfortable tech. Or a Baden.
I like this.
Heroes we don't see Shiro play, but could also be good. Again, the carry Doom or a Lifestealer. We saw Lifestealer do well earlier today.
Lifestealer is good against all these 3 cores for sure.
And good against the supports as well. You can just rage through the song. You can live through the epicenter
He
damage.
can be kited, but you have a lot of lockdowns, so I feel like the heroes around you could cover, for this, right? You have Glimpse, you have some kinetic fields, you have a coil here, you have a stampede for you.
Does that mean that we do no longer, if you wanted to see the Shiro Morphling, is this no longer a good game for this?
I don't like it because it'll get easily outpaced by Abaddon plus Bristleback. It just looks too greedy.
Okay. There's a lot of time left for Tidebound to come to the perfect solution for the last puzzle piece in their draft.
I mean, I'm okay with the Lifestealer. I feel like there might be something better, but I can't. Like, I think of Lifestealer, I feel like it's good, but maybe there's like this holy damn, this one pick where everyone goes like, wow, what is this? I can't see it.
We forgot about them. The one that they're going to pick is the one we're going to be, oh my gosh, we should have thought about that. We'll see, though. Of course, this could also be a time where Blink gives a speech to the squad about what the plan is in the early game if they do want to play this for the late game.
Because I don't see any game-breaking +4s at least.
Ooh, well, that is a
Okay.
hero. We have seen Shiro played on the road to TI, and it is a ranged carry, so we like that as 50-50, all balanced, Tigov.
yeah, they want to try and kill in the lane, right? You have Disruptor plus Shadow Fiend, the Nature's Prophet TPing as well. We're going to expect tri-lanes from minute 3, 4, very early on, and that creates the tempo. We already know that Centaur should be independent, so tri-lane Amar with 2 supports and a Shadow Fiend, get some kind of moves going your way. I don't mind it.
It's very good for what it does on the lane, but I do worry that as the game progresses and these like big tanky heroes on Falcons get these harpoons and these BKVs and get on top of the SF, there's not really much of a way to fight back.
Yeah, I wonder if Typhon can try to get off to a good start. I mean, you have the Nature's Prophet 4 who can try to offset some of the lanes. And I would also say that first Roche in this game is quite important. You want this on your SF, especially in this type of game. I do think they can make it happen. I would say they have okay lanes. You have Centaur who should be fine in the bottom lane, which allows Planet to kind of rotate around. So I think this early game, I got my eyes on him to try and set up Typhon for a good start.
Yeah, is it once again in this game number 2 just as important, Tigov, in the laning stage for Tidebound to hold the fort, hold their own?
1,000,000%. Tidebound need to create their own tempo in the early game to try and overlap the Farmer Falcons so that the greedy heroes are scaling in the same areas, and then it kind of hurts them. If you allow Falcons the entire map, then, as we already mentioned, big damage problems.
I mean, I am quite happy to, at least personally, like nothing to say last game. He didn't show me much. He had a hard time on the Earthshaker. This time, he's playing puck. I think he's set up for a way better game. There are no, the only instance they have, Blink's down from Sanking. But your team can bail you out. Maybe they can start to fight for you. So he's set up for more, because for me, he's the most important player on this team. He's set up for more success. That's all I need to see.
And what are they going to do with the stacks? Are they going to try to split the map, as we said was one of the solutions, or invade the triangle?
You can invade.
With a good start, they can absolutely invade. You can push in the lane with your SF, with your Disruptor, walk over, your Nature's Prophet, he can TP, place a ward. I think they're set up way better this game.
Any final words and thoughts on these two drafts, Effie?
I just worry that if Tidebound don't come out of lanes with like at least a 4K net worth advantage, like minute 12, I don't really see how the game is going to be played out for them, because they're going to get outscaled and outfarmed.
A lot of pressure on this game number 2 that is coming your way. But before we jump in the game, we're going to jump on stage where Tsunami is with Coach Blink.
That is right. I am standing by with a Blink of Tidebound, where I got to say, this matchup against Falcons during the road was one of the best series that we have had. And now we're getting the rematch. But it seems that they've made some adaptations. So I was wondering what you think they've changed to get that game number 1 win.
那上周呢，在国际邀请赛之路上，就是 Falcons 战队对决你们太棒战队是其中一个最精彩的对决了。然后呢，这次感觉他们已经做出了一些调整来应对你们的一些做出了应对你们的一些战略。就想问你，你个人认为他们做出哪些调整呢？
他首先是他们班人吧，他们开始办我们狼人，办我们冰魂，办一些没有那么常规的英雄。 就是他们可能回去深思熟虑的一些东西吧。
Well, Team Falcons have definitely done their homework. Their bans are now much more effective. They are now banning heroes like Lycan, heroes like Ancient Apparition, which are not usual bans, but are bans that are very much our hero pool. So they've definitely done their work here.
They have been doing their homework indeed. And I was wondering if I could get your perspective. The Western audience, we see you, we see Y, we see Faith Beyond or Bach. And we immediately put the term Wings 2.0 to you, but I wanted to know how you felt about that.
就是国外的、海外的这些观众呢，粉丝社区，他们看到你们战队，看到Y队，看到边将，看到你，就是他们脑子里面想的就是太棒战队，就相当于是 Wings 2.0。那你对这种看法有什么评价呢？
还是有一些区别的吧。我们现在就是太棒的。
There is some difference after all, and you guys can now know us as Team Tidebound.
The new era is upon us, and let us witness it as we get into game number 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tsunami and Blink. Welcome to set game number 2, Tidebound versus Falcons. Winner of this moves on to through the upper bracket, while the loser goes to the lower bracket. Cinderin, we're gonna see. The last time we cast Faith Beyond on Centaur.
Oh, yeah.
Now, to be fair, they did lose, but it was the most entertaining game that we got to cast.
Yeah.
With all of the carts, with refreshers. With all of the carts, with refreshers. I really, I know we were teasing this, or maybe some people don't enjoy it, I don't know, but the late game Dota between these two teams is something to truly behold, and I hope we get there this time.
And I believe the game you're referring to was one of the games against Extreme, where Extreme had offlane Undying. That was insane. That was the most exciting, and I would say high skill game that we got the pleasure of casting during the Swiss stage. Now, as Blink said in the interview, Falcons have done some very good adaptations, and that's obviously one of the concerns that you have as the teams coming out the winners or the high scorers of those stages is the other teams get some time to figure out how they beat you. And this break that we've had in between the Swiss and the final stage here, Falcons have clearly prepared, very much so targeted at this opponent, as they should. It's their first one. You've got plenty of time to figure that out. Will be interesting to see in the future days when you have less time, how fast you will learn from the few games you get to see now from here on out. But yeah, the bans in particular really show a bigger adjustment. I would argue Falcons have made a much bigger adjustment against Tidebound than vice versa in the strategy. I'm not too surprised with what Falcons are getting to run in these games.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we were talking about this the other day, the fact that historically Chinese Dota has been extremely good at late game Dota, whereas kind of in the early stages, they've been struggling as of recently. But it feels like Falcons, if it does go late, they're no strangers to this type of gameplay anyway.
Yeah. I would love to see a late game between these two teams where nobody is really far ahead. I think the last game, the advantage for Falcons just became way too big at around 30, 35 minutes. If the game is close, the teams are going to be delivering at a very high level. So fingers crossed for that. Now, as far as the lineups go, I do think it's more likely this game that this one will be slower, actually. Effie brought up a good point on the panel about the tankiness of Falcons' cores if things go according to plan for them, but I don't necessarily think a mid-game portion for them will be that easy. However, it's also not going to be the easiest task for Tidebound to build a big lead. Because how will they find multiple successful fights where they come out far ahead against this lineup? Tough to see. You have Disengage of Naga, you've got a Baden who's like the hardest carry in Dota to kill. At least one of them. Bristleback off lane. Tall order.
Yep, very true. Abaddon has been extremely powerful in this tournament, and the last few months at the very least as a position 1. Nice pushback from Crit as he gets away from this potential death. See 3 members of Tidebound in the area, and that's the beauty of having the Nature's Prophet, which started out as the best hero of the patch. And where would you rate it now? Because, I mean, obviously it's always had this flex potential.
It's still up high. I think it's just a very high skill hero because, and not specifically because of the spell casting, like casting spells with Prophet is very simple, but using its map presence correctly.
Yep, Amar taking a lot of raises, wants to get aggro though, pops the stick as Shiro now is the one he's pursuing, but this looks like it might be the death of Amar, but first Planet goes down. That is a huge deal, so first blood actually going to Falcons, but of course Shiro getting the kill onto the core. He's going to be at least a little bit satisfied with that.
Still, it's a 3v2 situation. That's a great result for Falcons in that exchange to get the first blood and just overall trading. Even if they didn't get the first kill, it's still quite good in the circumstances. But Amar is an absolute master at Bristleback. I think one of the things that sets him apart from most other Bristles, in my opinion, is his ability to... It's small moments like that, those snippets where you just watch how he turns his hero. It sounds so basic, but honestly, if you look at his gameplay on this hero against the majority of the field, even other like top 5 Bristleback players, I just think he's the absolute best at these high pressure moments where he is the target, at rotating around, getting as much mitigation as possible while still doing his output. A lot of the time, the best play on Bristle is literally standing still.
Yep,
like he did there. So pretty cool to see.
So what kind of build do you want to see from him this game then, with the lineup in mind?
I mean, currently he's eyeing up Blade Mail. I think that's a very good choice into Shadow Fiend and Puck. I think you just want to reflect a lot here. Aside from that, Sanj and Yasha seems fine. I think BKB should be on the menu at some point. Lotus Orb could also be very good, which, you know, when I list all of Bristleback's best items and I like all of them in the game, it probably means it's a pretty good pick for that game. So, not sure I have a favorite order, but I do think Lotus, Blade Mail, and BKB should all be in it at some point.
6-minute power rune. Malorine's going to be sprouted and will be greeted with a shield rune activating right underneath him. So we'll be bottling that up as he's going to get the burrow. Just to harass Nothing to Say a bit as he's sitting on 43-5 versus the 41-2 on the Puck. So extremely even in this mid lane. Is this what you would expect in the normal Puck versus Sand King matchup?
Probably. The way Malorine played the lane is he just cuts waves, right? He pulls the waves together and then sandstorms them, so effectively he just trades. Maybe sometimes you can come out slightly ahead if you also integrate neutral camps well or whatever, but yeah, not too surprised to see this overall result.
Is there going to be a play for the Wisdom Shrines this time? It doesn't. Well, as I say that, Malorine and Snake King are going to be greeted by Bach next to the tree line. Sand King tries to get off his ult, but it's instantly canceled. Coil is going to be expended. Malorine does not activate the ult as of yet. Tries to burrow strike out of the glimpse, but it's not happening. It's Nothing to Say. He's going to greet Snake King. Likely a death to his name is Skeeter. Now a 1 versus 2. Malorine's going to try to accompany him at the moment. Snake King, one more click will do it for Nothing to Say. We'll be able to clip him with the Illusory Orb, but the bigger kill is onto Skeeter. Malorine, though, with the epicenter, misses the burrow strike, but still gets the kill on the Centaur, and he takes the Shrine of Wisdom as well. So despite being outnumbered, Falcon's getting the better of that.
just like in game number 1, they get both wisdoms minute 7.
I was not expecting them to actually be able to get it this time, though. I mean, the thing is, Taiwan was actually ready for that, too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good showcase of some of the things the panel was talking about with damage issues, right? This support duo of Prophet Disruptor do not deal much damage in the early game. So you just run over there with your tanky heroes and with a Photic Shield, and who's going to kill them if not Shadow Fiend? You've got a bit of poke damage from Puck and Centaur. That doesn't cut it, especially with Bach's skill build of 3 points and Retaliate. So,
yeah, to be
really
fair,
too surprised with that outcome.
Yeah. I mean, that is pretty normal, though. You've got to get farm on Centaur.
Oh, of course. I'm not blaming his item build, or his skill build. I'm just saying you just don't have that much damage to kill the Sand King there. They kind of had to disengage when he got a Photic Shield on him, and he just pursues.
As Tidebound will find a nice nifty stack that Falcons have been working on. Of course, Falcons one of the more active stackers in Dota, and Shiro even coming in to clean it up. So very nice state there for Tidebound.
Yeah, that's a good steal.
Well, we get to see the Centaur Helm of the Dominator. I believe he went that in the game that we cast as well.
I think
it does
so.
amplify his farm a decent amount, but this, with the 3 in return, like you said, this is going to be farm mode for Faith Beyond right now.
The funny thing is we've seen a lot of uncharacteristic traditionally heroes going for the Helm of the Dominator, right? But when you think about it, it actually makes a ton of sense on Centaur, because you get HP regen, which is what he really wants in lane. You get 6 armor. This hero has very bad armor, but very big strength growth. So your EHP per armor on this hero is second to almost none. And therefore, if it is a patch for Dom, it just makes sense for Centaur to be the one to pick it up.
Makes sense thematically as well. With Stampede, you want more animals, aside from your teammates, of course, to be able to take part. Such a beautiful spell. Remember when that used to stun initially when it came out?
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
That was when you peaked in MMR those 2 days.
Yeah, I was ranked 6 in the world. Thank you, Cinder. I was not going to bring it up, but since you did, I will.
No, I didn't bring up your ranking in the world. I just said you gained MMR.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Malrine trying to defend this mid lane. Has that Sandstorm up, of course, with that facet that applies the blind when he attacks. Can be quite annoying to deal with. The fact that that works on towers is crazy, by the way. But it is interesting because I can't think of another spell that works similarly like that. You can't stun a tower, can you? Or maybe there is actually a spell that can stun, technically. We'll have to think about that.
Off the top of
I'll
my
give
head.
you the rest of the game to think of that one. Is Mask of Madness now online for Shiro? You can see the pressure being applied to this tier 1 as Shiro shows up with Planet as well. And it looks like this is going to be a nice pickoff for Tidebound. Will it turn into anything else, though? Malrine, he's going to be spotted. Glimpse back into the kinetic field. Nice pushback, going to slow them down a bit. Coil applied, but that's not going to really turn into much as the numbers have come from Falcons. Skeeter leading the way. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Has not leveled his ult as of yet, so does have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, I'm surprised they just let them have that tower. Considering you got both wisdoms and the 2 enemy supports are level 5, you're oftentimes not in a position to just brute force like this. But a successful play call, Falcons were uninterested in bringing over the resources in. Let's be honest, if they really wanted to defend that, they could have. That was a choice. If MR TPs, I think you don't lose that. You just place the bristle back in front, and that's the end of it. Instead, they're letting them take the mid tower, and now Bach up top as well. Decently big wave with siege creep too.
Absolutely.
See if they do anything about this one.
Centaur left to his own devices can certainly push to a decent degree, especially with a helm on top of it. Not going to tank up the tower for now, as there's still a siege unit on it. So this looks like another tower for Tidebound, playing super fast in this game too.
Crit on Y, a little bit of poke here. Rotation from nothing to say, a little bit too late to be able to find a coil. Now Crit will make a move of his own together with Malrine. That's that blink reveal. I think the dream kill here is to get Puck with a blink epi into Bushwhack stun combo.
12-minute rune is bottom. It's a haste as there's the stun onto nothing to say with the Bushwhack to follow, and the sharpshooter is enough. Big kill for Falcons.
Yeah, good judgment call there. I thought the Epicenter might have been necessary, but they do have enough in the tank. I don't think that was a very big overkill. It was good enough.
Glimpse onto Amar. I'm not sure why wants any of this smoke, though. He will now retreat, and Malrine will greet him. As Stampede is used, but I think he is dead anyway. Yeah, drops to the deck. So a Stampede down and another support kill for Falcons.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And looking at the side of Tidebound to see what power spikes are incoming. Dragonlance soon coming online for Shiro. Faith Beyond, Blade Mail not too far away as well. As the Witchblade now completed for nothing to say, so looks like Blink is next on the menu for him. Okay, this is a real question. Before this would be a meme, but because it was so prevalent in the game that we cast, how fast Faith Beyond go for the cart, Cinder? And everybody wants to know. Like, is this a pipe game? Do you need to go for that against essentially Sand King, right?
I don't think you need to go pipe. He's also eyeing a Blade Mill over it right now.
Oh, Blade Mill into what, though?
I think you could go Blade Mill, Blink Axe. Probably get...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And who do you want in your cart? The Shadow Friend?
It's pretty sick with Shadowfiend. You can drive him into Requiem.
Yeah.
That is a very strong combination. And of course, one of Shadowfiend's weaknesses as a hero, the panel touched upon this, is enemies, tanky heroes getting on top of you and just mauling you down. Centaur is one of the perfect solutions to that problem because SF, he has the damage to kill those heroes if he gets to attack.
That's right.
And the cart will ensure that. Of course, this was changed at some point. I don't remember which patch, but you're actually invulnerable in the cart, not just untargetable. So you can drive through the Epicenter Sandstorm and not care. You can tank all the quills. As long as you get to sit in that cart, you're all good.
But you can't take somebody out of Chrono anymore. Very important change. Very relevant in this game as well with the Faceless Void. So Blade Mail now up for Faith Beyond. As Amar is going to make his way to the mid lane. And another stolen shrine, potentially?
Oh, they might even get Shiro as a bonus.
Shiro, Epicenter's coming from him. He is not ready for this one. Bushwhack to follow Stampede, but the Sharpshooter is enough again. Falcons get away with murder, and the trade is a measly support. Of course, no offense to Snake King, he actually gets off the song anyway. Even the Wrath of Nature's not enough. They use Eclipse and the Static Storm as well, but the Illusory Orb is enough. They use everything to kill the support off as Skeeter shows up a little bit too late, though, so Planet does end up trading the Wisdom Shrines, but still the bigger kill on top of Shiro.
Almost survived.
How is he so tanky?
Well, Naga has pretty good base armor, and I think he just popped everything he had. He probably had a lot of one charges, used Polywalk Charm, Song heals, obviously, so.
Yeah, but looking at the Tidebound team fight that's going to eventually come, if the stars can align, since that seems to be the theme of this TI, Coil into Requiem with like the cart potentially helping you out in that pursuit sounds kind of crazy. Being able to snap Coil on multiple heroes.
Yeah.
A lot of upside, and with that Static Storm to make things even more difficult. You can see the potential from Tidebound's lineup.
He is queuing up pipe on the Centaur, though.
Okay.
So this will be a much delayed blink. Of course, they can somewhat rely on Nothing to Say to set up plays, but it is nice to have a secondary option.
Ooh, close one.
Glimpse.
Indeed.
Save Planet, but...
Oh, Sharp, this is a much bigger kill. Trying for the Requiem, but it's not happening. Skeeter gets the kill on Shiro. Second death in just a couple minutes now for the SF.
He's having a really difficult day today so far. Marcy in game number 1 did not go well. This game on SF, the 2 deaths, it might not sound like much, but this hero is the perfect target for Falcons to slow down if possible. And similar to game number 1, Tidebound are playing without saves. So when SF does get jumped, until you have that cart, which is far down the road.
Yeah, let's keep talking about the cart, by all means.
Well, absolutely. It's for once, it's actually important. The first 20 times I cast with you and you mentioned it, I didn't care. But this game I do.
Yeah, you can see, I can see the future. I have vision.
Yep.
As
You
Stampede,
have vision. That's good.
That's right. Stampede used again. This time it does get somebody out, and it's Bach himself.
Yep.
So you can, I mean, just based on how this game is played, Tidebound has not been very aggressive at all. Like maybe the laning stage a little bit with the TPs from Planet, but mostly it's been Falcons that have been setting the tempo.
Yeah, they took the early mid tower and top tower, but that's it. All the moves have been Falcons to get 4 Wisdom Shrines, find a couple kills on the SF.
It was 3.
Oh, did they trade 1-for-1 on the second one?
Planet ended up TPing to the other side.
There's a Radiance now on Abaddon. So this is a major level up, whichever playstyle you want to go for. If you want a team fight, this is when Abaddon really starts packing a punch. If you want to farm, you accelerate to a large degree. So Skitter's on track here for a solid.
Stampede is not online this time, as Amar finds himself a half-man, half-horse, but why is in the vicinity? Oh, a big initiation with a coil on the 3. Static Storm to follow. Now Rain comes in, though, with the Epi. Looks like Boxing the first to fall. Planet trying to kill off somebody. He finally gets a support. Looks like he's going to die shortly after, though, as the song to try to reset. Shiro on the outskirts looking for the Requiem. Will get it off to get the fear. Decent timing. Ensnare applied to the puck at the moment, though. Nothing to say. He's found in the tree line. Burrow Strike applied. Still stuck in the trees. Can they find him? They ping him out. Finally, the illusory orb comes. It's a curveball, though, back into the fray. He'd be able to blink out, though. It looks like the pursuit will finally come to an end. Is that was all over the place?
Well, he did get out, but that first orb, I have no idea what happened. That might have been a mouse slip. Like, you would want to curveball that one back to your base or just throw it in a straight line, but he orbed forward. Fortunately, did manage to find a way to play himself out of that, but that was scary. Still another good fight for Falcons. Having the damage, and Shadowfiend just arrives too late. If you want to take these fights as Tidebound, and you do have said damage issues, this guy needs to be involved.
Yeah.
Or you're just not killing him.
I mean, they had Coil, Static Storm on 3 heroes. That is about as good of a start as you can hope for at this stage of the game for Tidebound.
If there's a Requiem there, you team wipe them, right? But
yeah,
Falcons might not make the move to begin with that information. They're doing it because they know Shadowfiend is elsewhere. So it's a little bit of an unlikely hypothetical to really find that type of fight right now. And of course, if you do find yourself on the back foot, hang on, nothing to say.
Sharpshooter again. The glimpse back onto Snake King gives the space needed for Nothing to Say to retreat.
It is hard for Tidebound to land all of their stuff because there's the threat of song at any given point. Now, in that example, Snake King was caught in the storm, but you cannot rely on that happening every time.
I mean, this might be a game.
Arriving. That's drums.
Yeah, this might be a game where the 3 cores from Tidebound all have to get BKB because of the song, potentially.
Radiant's top tower
I mean, the fact that Pipe is being bought by Bach means that that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, it's far away.
That'll be like a 4th, 5th item for him if the game gets to that point. Malrain, he's going to be able to pop the epicenter, and that is way too easy onto Faith Beyond. And it looks like the rest of Tidebound might want to still fight.
Yep.
Onto Skeeter. Gets stunned up now. Has the borrowed time. And the kinetic field not in time. So he is going to be able to shrug it off with the Aphotic Shield and the rest of Falcons nearby.
Understandably, Y is hesitant to just go in there against an Abaddon ult, but ends up being a little bit too slow. Doesn't land the field, and this is probably just going to cost them the
Wait, are they contesting this? No, the Centaur taken out. They know this is happening, but indeed. Skeeter, of all the heroes, gets the shard. That's surprising. Talk about that in just a moment. Kinetic field with the Static Storm onto the Sand King, but there's no follow-up at all from Tidebound. They have to run away.
This is such a good shard to get for free on Core Abaddon.
Yeah, how did that even happen? He's 3rd in net worth on his team then, or he was at that point?
Well, Crit bought his own, so he was competing against Naga, and Amar also has his own. He bought his too.
Okay.
So, yep. And if you subtract 1,400 from his current net worth, he's below Sand King. So, yeah. He was eligible. His other teammates are just that farmed.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I feel like Falcons are one of the teams that actually purchases shards a lot earlier than the average team. Probably one of the nerd stats from AUI 2000, one of his preferences. Skeeter in under the tier 2 tower. Coil will snap thanks to the glimpse. Skeeter's ult is now down. Wrath of Nature coming for him. Does hit, but now the reinforcements have arrived. Burrow Strike from Malrain. Bushwhack not going to connect this time, but a Sharpshooter does. The Stampede does not give the distance needed. So another punish from Falcons as they now have a 5K lead.
Doesn't seem like Tidebound are able to string anything much together in these attempted aggressive moves. They're just unable to connect on the heroes that they want and get the damage out. Abaddon being the target once again just doesn't really help if you don't have the follow-up. What you want to do is to force his ult without using Glimpse. If you use Glimpse to force the ulti every time, he just runs away. So if they're unable to force it without it, the play probably doesn't exist to begin with. And it's just a big waste of time. I mean, sure, you might not lose any kills or any heroes in the process, but you just know in the back of your mind, Falcons are farming on 3 cores the whole time. So they're beating you on efficiency if these moves fail.
Yeah, well, now Faith Beyond has the pipe. Obviously, we talked about the fact that he opted to go for that before Blink. So it feels like they have to get something out of this.
He's queuing up Crimson, too.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't need Blink if you know you're going to get Aghanim Scepter at some point, Cinderin. You know?
Well, that's debatable.
I mean, the fact that you can Blink full range now with somebody in the card and it works.
Yeah.
Absurd. So many micro buffs over the last couple of years with this item that we keep talking about. We probably won't see, so we're just wasting everybody's time. But regardless, Falcons now through the gate. As they have their sights set on nothing to say. Well, they don't have their sights yet, but they have an idea. He's up here. Burrow Strike finds him. Bushwhack to follow, and another sharpshooter kill for Crit. My goodness. He has 4 kills right now on the Hoodwink. Feels like nothing going the way of Tidebound so far in this game, too.
This hero pairing is so good. So, Hoodwink plus Centaur, Hoodwink plus Sand King. You hit a Burrow Strike, you make sure you get the Boomerang in ASAP, you amplify all the spell damage from Sandstorm, from your other spells. He doesn't even have an offensive item in these kills. He's running Glimmer on Hoodwink, so he hasn't amped anything else than buying the Boomerang. That's good enough. Now mid tower finally for Falcons. 8,000 lead going to be on the board after this goes down. For 1 second, now it's back to 7, but it was a good second.
Yeah, we will always remember that. Again. Very memorable moment here at TI. Mallory now taking some creeps away from Tidebound, working on his BKB next, not that far away. And Shiro with the 2 deaths that, I mean, it's only 2 deaths, but it does feel like it's kind of compounded from game 1 to some respect, because he was just dying constantly.
Yeah, he has 9 deaths so far today, I believe. Wasn't it 7 in the last game? Something like that.
Sure, we'll just go with that. Working on the Silver Edge, so wants to be able to break the Bristleback, but again, this is an off-lane hero. You still have to worry about 2 more cores that are all mega farm.
And the question is, if you break him, does he even die? He has Lotus, Pipe, and Sanj. It's a really, really tanky Bristle here. Top of the net worth. I think you have to try to bide your time here as Tidebound, which is always going to be a dangerous strategy to have to play against Falcons, but realistically speaking, with the supports that you've drafted in this game, and also arguably in game number 1, you're putting a lot of pressure on your cores to do all of the damage, and if they're unable to find that early lead, you fall into this mid-game stalemate where you can't really pose that much of a threat. They will eventually get there. Puck is one of the best late gamers in Dota. From the mid lane, Centaur can become a monster. I'm not concerned about Tidebound's ability to win this game at the hour mark. I'm concerned about their ability to get there, because Falcons are ramping up more and more, and if they hit their stride like they did in game number 1, we could be looking at a similar end time of like 45 minutes where the heroes are just invincible.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say, he's holding on to a lot of gold, but changing his mind, going for the Blink Dagger now in Centaur. We'll see if Tidebound want to get a little bit more aggressive now. As a result, Shiro actually pops the smoke, the dust on the other side, though. They know that he has the Shadow Blade, don't have the vision required. They do find Y instead, though. Another sharpshooter kill. Man, oh man, Crit is farming up those fantasy points today.
And this is all a setup for Roche. Amar with the amp damage, with the goo. They've got Curse of Avernus. This is nice and easy.
Nothing to say. Oh, he's going to get Epicenter Burrow Strike as well. Crit in the vicinity in addition. Hook Stomp comes. It's going to be close, but nothing to say. Just able to get out. And again, this Roche is really all that Falcons care about, and they're going to secure it now officially.
They just have to pop. They have to pop so much in escape, right? If there's a Hoodwink ult there, the Puck is 100% dead. That only worked out because Crit had Sharpshooter on cooldown from the previous kill, which is, you know, fortunate for nothing to say, but at the same time also showing that Falcons keep finding the moves back to back. So you don't get much time to breathe. For a team that's got a reputation in this tournament for good reason, and in general of playing like slower and choking out the map, I feel like today Falcons are deliberately playing a higher pace against this opponent.
Yeah, for sure.
Just seemingly the right approach, at least so far, against Tidebound in this series. And again, I would argue a large part of it is them exploiting the support duos that Tidebound has picked in both games, just not having that much kill power. So whenever we get into the skirmish mode, Crit's Hoodwink is just having more impact than the enemy supports combined. He's actually offering those kills.
And we're talking about nature's prophet. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you haven't said
crazy,
that statement
right?
the entire year. But that is definitely the case in this game, too.
Wisdom again for side of
They
Falcons.
will take it. And on the other side, the sharpshooter makes it a little bit more difficult as Crit's going to continue to stand inside. Burrow strike a little bit too late, but at the very least, they will secure their own shrine as well. So 3.5 minutes on this Aegis. Are you surprised with the Aegis onto Amar?
No, I think it's the perfect choice. I think Abaddon doesn't need it this game with how it's played out. And Sinking has BKB and Amar. A lot of the time when Falcons play with Bristleback, Amar is playing almost as the carry of the game. So they're going to send him in front, and he can create all the space in the world knowing that he cannot die twice. So I don't mind it. I think it's good. He's level 18.
Yeah.
Top net worth in the game. Sounds like a good Aegis carrier to me.
And he can certainly hit buildings as well.
Classic Amar fashion, he's of course running Seeing Red. We haven't talked about that. A lot of offlane bristles like the Snot Rocket, but Amar wants to get up close and personal.
The fortification comes out on this tier 2, and it's just a matter of time.
I
That
wouldn't
time
mind
has
seeing
ended.
Falcons go high ground here.
Already?
Yeah, I understand there could be some concern with if you get caught on the back foot and you have to run away and then you get glimpsed back in. I really struggle to see the side of Tidebound killing this Bristle twice. I think they can at least burn the Aegis and see how much they can get. They have Song of the Siren, Aegis, Abaddon. It's difficult to deal with them. But
so far playing it safe.
Yeah.
They have 2 tier 2s down now. Only the bottom lane remains as Planet currently pushing that out. He's working on an Aghanim Scepter for the Prophet. So Silver Edge now up for Shiro. And like you said, this is against the Bristleback, whose top net worth has the Aegis. Will they even have remotely close damage to bring him down?
That's what's kind of interesting about this game state is Falcons, I think, are... I'm not going to say they're peaking right now, but I think if both teams just farm for another 5 minutes, I actually think that's good for Tidebound. You want Puck to get to more critical mass, like get level 20 talent to start getting next damage item potentially. Currently going for Yules, though, so that's not all that scary. You want Shadow King to get crit. You know, we want him to be able to kill these tanky boys, and so far doesn't really have it. The Tormentor for Falcons, so this is the upgraded Song of the Siren, much more healing. And also regenerates mana. Largely irrelevant in this game.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's percentage-based.
The healing is good, the mana regen is.
Oh, yeah, that.
I don't think that.
But percentage-based healing, when you have 3 strength or 3 tanky heroes that are your cores, is insane.
It's
combo.
very good. So as an example, it heals currently 6% max HP per second. So on Bristleback, what's that? That's like 150? Not bad. It's like 2 hearts.
I thought heart was bad, though.
Well, 2 hearts is good, but you can't do it.
Okay, gotcha. Skater finds an opening, snaking with the ensnare. And this will be the death of Planet. Still working on that Axe. And yeah, it looks like Falcons are going to be pretty content with the 2 tier 2s down as the Aegis expiring in 15 seconds. But this is going to open up Tidebound smoke now as they look for an opening. BKB, though, for Amar, that's going to replace the Aegis. So he's going to look to potentially pop this smoke from Tidebound as they make their way into their own jungle, which has been infested now by Falcon members. And there's a Crimson Guard.
I'm not sure about this Crimson.
It's okay. He's going Ags next. We're going to seek cart this game. I promised it to all the viewers
I feel like
Let's hear it for Cart, everybody. Yeah.
Do you think the Crimson Guard is worth it?
I mean, there's a lot of physical damage.
There is, but
and it's good for high ground with the tower, theoretically.
There are some benefits. I just feel like the cart is what is... I can't believe I'm saying this in a cast. I feel like that is the potential difference maker in this game, where Shadow Fiend seems like he needs help being brought into good positions in the fights and dealing the damage, or if nothing else, you can use it as a save. The Crimson, you're delaying that a lot more. It's definitely not a bad choice, but I'm not sure it's the best. Anyway, might just get there regardless and get the cart. 4,000 gold shouldn't take 50 on all that long. Probably 5 or so minutes, maybe 6. But that will, effectively, that will be after next Roche.
Yeah.
So that timing is unfortunate.
Snake King's getting pretty farmed now. Has a Solar Crest with drums and Force Staff. Will be getting Greaves relatively shortly. This is a support hero, Cinderin.
He has 140 CS.
If we transported this image back 6 years to you, would you have a heart attack seeing that as a support player?
I would have a heart attack at seeing how big the map is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, maybe a heart attack is a very big statement, Shan. Relax. We're
Sorry
all
about that.
I would be surprised. Now Naga is no stranger to farming. Like, this isn't a new thing that support Naga gets farmed. But obviously, when the map is bigger like this than a couple of years back, and you are in control, Naga is one of the most oppressive heroes, which is why this hero gets banned so much. Because whether it's played in a support or core role, the illusions are low cooldown scouting tools that push waves nonstop, so you always have to take care of that. Naga is Helm of the Dominator 2.0, right? The illusions just do the same thing as those DOMs do by pushing out waves nonstop, farming for you, letting you scale. You can buy any items.
He's effectively a core. I mean, he's only 3K behind Malrine, for God's sake.
Yep.
Effectively a core. I mean, he's only 3K behind Malrine, for God's sake.
Yep.
Pretty impressive.
And that's probably the reason Malrine isn't ahead of at least Centaur, is because Naga is taking some space.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Sand King will get more, but he doesn't need to.
Sharing is caring.
Curious to see what Snake King will do after the Greaves, because I think we can already start thinking ahead for that. There's nothing indicating that he will stop farming. And 14k net worth already. What is a good item here for the support Naga? Dagger. I guess you could get Hex.
Ooh, yeah, Hex would be good.
Against the Puck. Plenty of options.
Or both. Blink Hex.
Yeah.
Just become Shadow Shaman yourself.
If he keeps farming at this rate, he'll be 6 slotted at minute 50. So.
Well, Shiro has Daedalus, so damage definitely online for Tidebound if they can get the connection. That's the big if right now. Falcons will smoke up. Looks like Tidebound might want to be doing the same here relatively shortly.
Parasma. There's some big damage upgrades here for Tidebound. This feels like finally they have some tools that they have been lacking for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If they actually do connect, I believe in their lineup to now be able to kill some of the cores. But the connection is the big question mark. How do you get Shadow Fiend into position when you don't have the cart yet? Centaur can go for a blink stun, but you have counterplay from Song, you have counterplay from Aphotic Shield. BKB on Bristle. I mean, Bristle just doesn't die, right? BKB, Pipe, Lotus, and another Plate Mill.
This is basically full timer Roche as well. So
yep.
That benefits Tidebound. They've had time to kind of catch up a bit in terms of getting the items they feel are the next power spikes for them.
Still won't have the cart on spawn.
Let's talk about cart again.
If Falcons want to force this now, they know it's up because it couldn't have been any slower than this.
And we'll see if they want to try to contest this or if they want cart. What is more powerful, second Roche or cart? Only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen.
He can't afford it now. They're going to smoke. So, big moment here for the side of Tidebound.
Oh, yeah, he's getting it on the way. Workhorse about to activate. The crowd is going to cheer so loudly when it's in his inventory. There we go. We got the Workhorse cart. Enter the cart. Nothing can harm you any longer. Now, of course, he needs a BKB to be able to use it properly, Cinderin. There's still ways to go, but the important thing is he has the cart now.
You and I thought the crowd at this event was going to be cheering for killed Dominator creeps, but it turns out it's the actual Centaur.
That's right.
Not the dominated one. The scepter in hand, the smoke, highly uneventful, just breaks, and they're not really following up on it. But the standoff begins. Now, this ward that they've placed above the Roche pit here for the side of Tidebound. Very much, exactly.
I really hope this cart does something, or else we really did a shitty cast.
I think either it's instrumental or it's completely irrelevant. One or the other. It needs a polarizing result here. It needs to not be okay.
I mean,
we want a big play.
Yeah.
Or we want it to be complete.
Yeah, Faith Beyond is no stranger to this, as we talked about, so we're not worried about the execution. It's more, will he have the opportunity? As Falcons, with this 14K lead, pretty massive.
I think it's worth pointing out the win expectancy graph of this game has flatlined in the last 10 minutes. Falcons were gaining and gaining and gaining, and now we're kind of stuck in this 3-1 favorite stage, which I think I could get on board with. I see a possibility for Tidebound to pull off a good fight, but definitely Falcons are in the driver's seat and have the easier to execute strategy at this point. Shiro almost has Pike now, another big item for him. We're talking about his inability to hit stuff. That'll help.
Yep, Roche. Belches in their face again.
I've got 1 minute to do this before he is tired of being here.
That's true. If they can delay this. Lamar now outside the pit. Want to get to the triangle of Tidebound. This Planet being pursued in his own base. Oh my goodness. Burrow strike, sharpshooter, it's enough. Planet actually out for 50 seconds with no buyback. So this is actually a 4 versus 5. I don't know how. He did not feel safe in his own base, and I can see why now. But still, Falcons not forcing the issue onto Roche. Want to capitalize on any potential mistakes. You can see the wave is already pushed in the mid lane, so perhaps forcing Tidebound back to base is what they do.
Yep.
And they're going to be pounding on this tier 3 rather. With the illusions to follow suit. And Shiro and the company, this is going to be a mass TP for Tidebound. And immediately Falcons just go straight towards the pit. Although, like you said,
he's leaving.
Roche is leaving. His home has now changed. It is summertime Roche, heading to the south, where the closer to the equator, nice and warm.
And Falcons are already set up better in this area than Tidebound, courtesy of being there first. So once again, feels like they have things under control. Snaking will keep pushing out lanes with these pesky Naga illusions. And sure, you do have Nature's Prophet to try to do the same thing, but it just takes him longer to do it, and it's a bigger commitment. Using teleport every time puts you on that cooldown where you can't connect to your team. Naga just spawns the illusions, sends them out, and stays with the team. Always available for the save.
Yep, true.
Yeah. Do they have any smokes left is the question on Tidebound. They don't have anyone in their inventories, so it's difficult for them to access this area, but at the same time, Falcons also uninterested. This has effectively been a 3-minute Roche fight without hitting Roche.
Well, Roche
and without hitting each other. So
the old Roche off, but this time in a different area.
Oh, yeah, we had this forever in the corners.
Yeah.
Man.
I love this current Roche, though.
Yeah. It's good.
Tidebound on the high ground. You can see the illusions continually spotting them. As
It's not
just
only the
daring
Naga.
them.
It's also the Abaddon Radiance.
Oh, Stampede. Okay. Epicenter comes in from Mallory. Pops the BKB as well. As Bach looking for somebody to use on his cart. He's going to be some pressure. Pops the Blade Mail. Nobody really wants to touch him now, though. Gets rooted up onto the high ground. Nothing to say coming. They're trying to take out the Abaddon, but he activates his ult just in time and heals up to full as a result. There's the cart onto the Shadow Fiend. He'll be able to get off his ult. The Centaur dies first inside of his own cart. The Shadow Fiend follows suit, and just like that, it's 4 dead for Tidebound, and Falcons lose nothing. That wasn't even close. The cart didn't do it.
Maybe they'll get one more chance, but it will be against a man advantage now. Aegis as well as Banner. I wonder who they'll put the Aegis on. Saw Skeeter take a lot of damage in that engagement, but obviously stay alive. It will be Amar again. And it's sieging time. You've got plenty of time. You've got 50 seconds before Shiro's up. So I think high ground already is on the menu. They're barely even scratched. All their heroes are looking full right now, and they still have Song. So in reality, that wasn't even remotely close. Now Hex comes out for Hoodwink. He almost has Refresher on the Naga.
This was the previous fight, of course. I mean, the fact that the Disruptor gets taken out before the fight really begins kind of spelled the doom for Tidebound, and didn't have enough money to buy back and TP in. So Falcons capitalized. Now they're up 24K with the Aegis advantage, and now pushing that bottom lane. Can Tidebound do anything to repel the forces of Falcons? This is going to be one lane for them extremely easily.
Not exactly of the previous game, but it's feeling really similar overall. Similar time for the overall high ground, going for the killing blow here at about 45 minutes. Executing the map better.
It gets broken, but just going to shrug it off. The second lane in the sights for Falcons. Oh, the Hex onto the puck, the bushwhack to follow, the save! The cart saves the puck! Going to try to turn this around, but where is the damage coming from exactly? Nature's Prophet in the midst of all of this, trying to TP out, but the Burrow Strike connects. Bushwhack to follow. That'll be the death of the NP. And again, 3.5 minutes on the Aegis. Falcons have plenty of resources to work with as Amar looks like he's going to finish off this second barracks very shortly. Another Hex that the Burrow Strike actually misses, but they find the connection on the nothing to say. The Stampede is not enough. He is out for 90. No buyback. As Falcons now to the third lane to try to get Mega Creeps and close the door in this upper bracket match against Tidebound. And it's looking like it's going to be a 2-0.
What a stellar performance this game has been from Crit on the Hoodwink.
Bach gets off the hood stomp to try to break the Abaddon, but he already has his ult on his Amar just destroys Y. Cart onto the Shadow Fiend in retreat. They just call GG, and just like that, Falcons 2-0 Extreme in this upper bracket match.
And this individual game more so than the first, not even remotely close when you look back at it. Tidebound maybe had one singular successful move, ending the game with 5 kills. At minute 45, Falcons in complete control the whole time. And as I was saying, for me, Crit, total standout performance of the Hoodwink. The way they played the map together, the Sand King and the Hoodwink, I feel like was what dictated almost everything that happened. So the overall strategy for Falcons is pushing waves with Bristle, push in waves with Naga, push in waves with the Bat and Manta, and then Hoodwink and Sand King, whenever heroes split up around the map trying to find farm or deal with the problems, they pick them off. So an absolutely incredible performance here from Falcons, and a series that you and I entering today were like, we were unsure how to place this one. I think maybe the previous series were a little bit more going the way we expected. This one, we didn't know. We thought it was going to be 3 games. It wasn't.
Yeah, it feels like Falcons have really leveled up as you hear the crowd cheer as they exit their booth, but just a masterful performance. And it felt like Tidebound just, I don't know, didn't look like the same team, but maybe some nerves getting to them. Of course, we have 2 TI winners, so I doubt that that's the case. Either way, Falcons really showing up in this series, 2-0ing Tidebound. And well, we did see the cart for Faith Beyond. Unfortunately for them, it just wasn't enough. Falcons completely starved Tidebound out of the map the entire game. I mean, this felt like a prototypical Falcons game from, let's say, 3-4 months ago.
Yeah, just that. Again, relative to the length, to the game length, this is equivalent to Falcons winning in 30 minutes half a year ago, right? Like this was way below their average game time of the tournament, sitting at about 54 minutes. So today, both the games they won, they did it about 10 minutes faster than they do on average, and against an exceptional opponent. So
it sounds like we have an interview with Amar.
Thank you, Sunspan. Amar, is there any better feeling than winning games of Dota on the TI main stage?
Oh, I mean, I had these games before, and winning these games are nice, but you're still looking forward for the grand final.
You got your eyes on the prize then. Well, I do want to ask you, is it a little bit different this time now that you've moved into the drafting and captaining position? Is that a little bit of extra pressure? Because we have seen some pretty strong reaction from you in your longer, more stressful games.
Oh, I mean, it feels nicer this time because you know when you put the music in settings, it's very like all these drums. So when I'm captaining and drafting, it's a very nice feeling actually.
Good stuff. All right. Well, last time you met Tidebound, it didn't go quite this well. So was there anything about the series last time that you learned and you were able to take forward and get you this pretty clean win the second time around?
I think it was stop throwing, because we were throwing a lot and we were going 1 hour games for no reason. And now we just play 2 fast games, like compared to before, you know? So that's the good part.
Absolutely. And any word for your teammates who have done so well, and also for Tidebound, which you've now knocked down to the lower bracket? You know, like, how do you think they played in this series, and do you think we'll see them bouncing back later on in the tournament?
I mean, words Tidebound, I still think they're gonna. I mean, they're still strong. You know, like I don't think because they lost to us, like something they can still go through some strong lower bracket run. And for my team, you know, like step up because I'm carrying every game. Kappa.
Beautiful stuff. All right, I have one more question for you. This one is about the upcoming series we have on our hands. It is BB versus Nigma. So do you have any words for that series coming up, and who are you supporting for? Who do you think is going to win?
Crowd, cheer for Nigma. All energy to Nigma.
Thank you very much, Amar, and congratulations, Amar and Falcons, for moving forward here at TI.
Top 6 secured for Falcons and Amar there on the main stage. And anyway,